Good morning, my dear lovely children. Today we shall do the poem Where Do All the Teachers Go from chapter 5 of Honeysuckle. The poet of this poem is Peter Dixon. Peter Dixon is a poet, performer, educationist, and artist. He grew up in London. He was a naughty boy whose schooling was far from successful. Having failed at spelling and understanding of word, form, and grammar, he tended to write secretly at home, drawing and writing of things largely ignored by schools. And this poem is from one such collection. This poem speaks about a child's love and curiosity for his or her teacher. Teachers are just next to super beings for children. They can't imagine that teachers are also ordinary human beings. For young kids, a teacher is an extraordinary special person. It is difficult for a small child to accept that a teacher is also any common man or woman living around him. The child wonders and questions if teachers also behave like other people, if they also do all the work of things other people do. Like, do they live in houses? Do they wear pajamas, wash socks, or watch TV? All sorts of weird questions. Do they also have parents and children to live with? All these questions bother a child's mind, and out of curiosity, one day the child decides to follow his teachers to keep a check and what to do? And to write a poem about them so that the teachers read that poem to their students, to their curious little ones, so that their curiosity could also be cleared. It shows the cuteness, purity, curiosity, and dilemma a young mind has for its teachers. It also shows their expectations from teachers. Now let's start reading the poem Where Do All the Teachers Go? I'll read the poem stanza by stanza, and along with that I'll keep explaining. Where do all the teachers go when it's 4 o'clock? Do they live in houses? And do they wash their socks? What a confusion and question the child has. The child wonders and questions where all the teachers go after the school hours. When it is 4 o'clock, he wants to know if, like any other ordinary being, they also live in houses and do they wash their socks? Means to do, they also do all the ordinary routine work that other people do. That is what the child wants to know. Do they wear pajamas? And do they watch TV? And do they pick their noses the same as you and me? Here the pajamas are referred to clothes. Pick their nose means it's an activity to waste time poking and inserting finger in the nose to clear. Okay. So the child wants to know if teachers also wears clothes like pajamas and do they watch TV like other children and other people their parents might be doing. Do they also clean their noses the way other people do and waste their time? Do they live with other people? Have they mums and dads? And were they ever children? And were they ever bad? Further, the child wonders by asking if they are also surrounded by people because your children all are living in family. So this child is curious to know if teacher also has a family. Does the teacher live in a house surrounded by family and friends and neighbors? If they also have parents and children like us to live with, did they commit any mistakes or did anything wrong when they were children? So for children, These teachers are super beings. For them, teachers cannot commit any mistake. So he wants to know whether these teachers were sometime young children, school going like them, and did they ever commit any kind of mistakes or did not complete their homework or whatever. Did they ever never spell right? Did they ever make mistakes? Were they punished in the corner if they pinched the chocolate flakes? Now the poet wants to know if they also made mistakes when they were students, when they're small like you, or were they ever punished for stealing chocolates or doing any mischiefs or doing any silly or naughty things. Poet wants to know if the teachers were like any other ordinary child when they were small. Did they ever lose their hymn books? Did they ever leave their greens? Did they ever scribble on the desktops? Did they wear old dirty jeans? Yes, scribble means draw or write something that is not readable. The tender mind, the cute little boy, the poet, is also bothered to know if the teachers also ever lost their religious books, hymn books means religious song books, and said no to green vegetables. Okay, here green things means green vegetables, like any other children, like, but I'm sure you children are not so selective, choosy about your food. You people would be eating whatever your mother is giving. All the healthy food you must be eating. But there are many children, not like you. The poet wondered if his teachers also had dislike for green vegetables. Did they also waste time by scribbling on tables and wear torn and old jeans? I will follow one back home today. I will find out what they do. Then I will put it in a poem that they can read to you. To overcome his curiosity, the child decides to follow or spy his teacher on his way home after school. Once he is clear about everything, what the teacher is doing, what the teacher is eating, what teacher is wearing, where the teacher lives, what kind of house teacher is having, about his parents, children, whatever. When things are clear about the teacher, he would also like to compose or write a poem about it and thinks that the teacher would read that poem to his students. That is Peter Dixon. Isn't it very cute? Isn't the poem full of fantasy? Fantasizing teachers like superheroes or marvels? Isn't it? So now, my dear children, let me tell you about the poetic device used here. So when you talk about the poetic device, the poetry has a musical quality with rhythm. It used figures of speech like simile and metaphor. Now, what is simile? Simile is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another. Here, the poet is comparing a teacher with extraordinary people, like making the teacher as extraordinary beings and then comparing the teacher with ordinary people. The other poetic device used here is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. I hope this poem and its meaning is clear to you. Thank you.